Thought it might be worthwhile just doing a little video in case people that live in the UK are not aware of the fact that the weather is going to really drop over the next few days. We've had some really nice warm sunny days recently, but as from tomorrow, Wednesday, the temperature is going to drop to -2 and then -1, and it's going to carry on right through till Friday. So if you've got any tender crops outside, you need to take them indoors if possible, or fleece them if you've got any fleece, because after spending the last 2 months of growing, it'd be devastating for just the sake of a little preparation today to lose all your plants. If you've got things like this, young pepper plants, you definitely need to take them inside. Or tomatoes, young tomato seedlings, if they get hit by a frost, it will definitely kill them. French beans, they're not cold hardy. If a frost hits these leaves will turn black and eventually the plant will just die. Things like your flowers, pansies, violas, etc., they'll be perfectly fine. You don't need to do anything with those. Spinach, even little seedlings like this, are quite frost hardy. So again, you can leave them as they are. These plants that are just trying to break through are cucumbers. They'll die. Take them inside. Anything that you might have at the brassica family, which includes cabbages, cauliflowers, Brussels, broccoli, kale, are cold hardy, so they're fine. Salad leaves and lettuces as well, they can take the cold. If you can accommodate any of your plants indoors in a shed, then put them in a shed. If you can't, cover them with some fleece, because just this little thin layer of protection will make all the difference. So if you want to be over cautious with plants that are frost tolerant, if you just want to be extra careful, just cover them with this. It's really cheap to buy. If you haven't got any of this or time to get any, if you've got any old bits of bubble wrap, things like that, put that over, because that'll work just as well. But yeah, anything like this, chilli plants, that are not hot weather plant, so they have got to go inside, else you will lose them. This is that tray of sunspot dwarf sunflowers that we recently sowed, and as you can see, nearly all of them have come through. They're not frost hardy. The plants are way too young, and to risk losing 40 plants just for the sake of taking them indoors for a couple of nights, as I said, is not worth the risk. So these will be going into my shed where it stays warm. If you've got things that's growing outside in tubs, which obviously you can't take those indoors, you can put them in your greenhouse. These are in the greenhouse already. But things like peas, don't worry about those. Peas are frost hardy. If you've got potato plants that's just broke the surface, like these, they are not frost hardy. You need to cover those up. If you don't, again, these plants will turn black if frost hits them, and then your potato will have to send up another shoot. So a bit of fleece, anything like that. So if you just cover it like that, then that plant will be perfectly fine. And obviously you can take this off in the daytime so it gets some sun, some light, but put it back on at night until this frost has passed. If you've got onions growing in pots, don't worry about those. They'll stand a frost. They can survive through snow, so anything that's either in a pot or in the ground, you don't need to worry about. Same with these spring onions, very young seedlings, but they'll just shrug off a frost. It won't hurt them at all. And the same goes for carrots. So there are certain things that you don't have to worry about. If you've got potatoes that you're chitting ready to go in April, take those inside. Don't take the risk on leaving those outside. or you may end up having to chit them all over again, and that's going to take time. Strawberry plants are perfectly fine as well. They can take frost and snow. I have also got this shed as well that I use to put plants in when I know it's going to go really cold. Plus I also grow plants in here early in the year if I want to, say from January onwards, and there's no heating in here, it's just lights. And I've got behind me a setup of lights. I just put these together using an old greenhouse bench and some old shop lights that I happen to drop on. I can keep them to a level that I want, so the ceilings are getting the light and the light's close enough to them. So if we do happen to have really bad cold spells, I can just pop them in here and flick the lights on. And then I know the plants are protected. Also I keep these trays on top with seedlings in. And the lights give off a certain amount of warmth which keeps the trays warm and then in turn keeps all the plants warm. And although it's not something that everybody can do, if you have got a little shed outside, if you do what I did, just to try and keep the warmth in, I just insulated it all the way around with bubble wrap and pinned old blankets over the door to stop drafts. And I've just started pinning some to the roof as well. And again, just a piece of old blanket, just nailed it, and that's going to cut down more cold than you think. Another reason that I know it's warm enough in here is because I also keep and breed budgies. And these have all been in here all winter with no heater, just the lights, which is also keeping the vegetables warm. And we've also got a couple of babies in here as well. So that's basically a couple of bits and bobs that you can do to help protect your plants while we have this bit of a cold snap, because we don't want to be losing plants that we've just spent 2 months growing. So if you've got any fleece to chuck over them, do that straight away. Or even an old piece of blanket, as long as it's light, or you can make some kind of a frame over the top of your plants and then just lay this over them. Any amount of protection is better than no protection at all. So remember, possibility of -2 starting Wednesday right through till Friday night. So start today and get all your plants protected. I'll see you next video. You all take care.